Assalamualaikum guys, we meet again. My name is Muhammad Alif Muhammad bin Hassan, and today I will make some interview about food additive, which is binders. So let's get started. So guys, I found some people that knowledgeable about this. So let's go around. Hello guys, so here I met with some lovely girl that can explain us more what is binders. So let us hear from this girl what is basically binders.
Binding agents are any ingredient that can help a mixture to hold its shape or remain together. Or we can say it as a substance that helps to add firmness, texture, volume and flavor to a recipe. It can come in both artificial and natural varieties. However, different food binders come with a different origin. For instance, flour originated more than 10,000 years ago when the development of flour first began, from when Romans first used corn mills, to the industrial mills that we use now.
Thank you Izati for such a wonderful explanation on what is binders. So after know what is binders, so let's get some people to know what is function of binders. Let's go. So after I walk around the campus with the camera, I found this lovely girl that also in the faculty of science and technology. So of course she can explain us more about the function of binders. So let me ask her about the function of binders.
Basically, the function of binder to help remain the shape or remain bound together. Today, now I want to explain more specific about the function of binder. Alright, the function of binder first. Binder is any material or substance that can hold or draw other substance together to form a cohesive whole chemically. Next, the function of binder is any mixture that we add up to food in order to improve the texture of food and to thicken the food. So, if you guys want to improve the texture of the food, please use the binder. Okay?
Thank you, Miss Najia, for a brief but at the same time understanding explanation about the function of binders. Come on, camera. We need to find more people so that we can know about what is binders. Come on, come on. Follow me, follow me. Come on. So, this person here with us, Fika, will want to explain to us what is classification of binders. So, Fika, can you tell us what is actually classification of binders?
So, binders are divided into 4 groups, which are natural, synthetic, solution, and dry binder. For natural, there are 4 sources, which are animal source, marine, microbial, and plant source. Example for animal source is chitin, and marine is alginic acid, and microbial source is xanthan, and for example for plant source is cassia. And for synthetic, for example methyl cellulose, ethyl cellulose, carboxyl methyl cellulose, and many more. For solution binder, these are dissolved in a suitable solvent. For example, water or alcohol can be used in wet granulation processes. For example, gelatin, cellulose, cellulose derivative, starch, sucrose, and polyethylene glycol. For dry binder, these are added to the powder blend, either after a wet granulation step or as a part of a direct powder compression formula. For example, cellulose, methylcellulose, and polyethylene glycol. Wet granulation processes is involved in the mixing of a mix of dry primary powder particles using a granulating fluid. The fluid contains a solvent which must be volatile, so that it can be removed by drying and be non-toxic. Typical liquids include water, ethanol, and isopropanol, either alone or in combination. The granulation liquid may be used alone or more usually as a solvent containing a dissolved additive, also referred as a binder or binding agent, which is used to ensure particle addition once the granule is dry.
Thank you, Fika, for the explanation about the classification of binders. So, after we know about the classification of binders, we also must know about the E numbers in binders. So, let's get some people to know about the E numbers of binders. So, guys, I found one girl that wandering around the library. So, I brave myself to ask this girl on what she know about the E number of binders. So let's ask her. Come on.
Thank you for your question. So my name is Norishima binti Bahri, and I'll be answering your question about e-numbers in binders. Actually, there is a lot of e-numbers in the binders, but I'll give three examples of e-binders, e-number of e-binders, of binders, and the first one is E466, where the function is for thickeners. The second one is E470, which is carrageenan, and the function is as a stabilizer and as a gelling agent. And the third one, which is the last one, is E460, and which is cellulose, and the function is as a bulking agent. So I think that's all for numbers and binders. So I hope I am answering your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Shima, for what easy and simple explanation about the E numbers of binders. So, guys, after we know about the E number of binders, we must know about the additional information on what is binder is. Here with us right now is the two boys that can explain us about the additional information of binders. So they're here to explain about the advantage and the disadvantage of binders and also a health issue of binders. So let's ask them.
So as the reporter asked me to explain about the additional information of the binders, so I will explain about it. Basically, the function of binding agent is to add firmness, texture, volume and flavor to a recipe. And the binding agent is divided into two classes, that is the natural and artificial. The natural binders is egg and flour, and the example of artificial binders is carrageenan, guar gum and xanthan gum. So as the consumers, we must know all of the advantages of binding agent. First is binding agent is to bind the mixtures of ingredients because it can hold the mixture stronger than the ingredients without binding agent. Simultaneously, it can prevent the mixture of ingredients from breakdown. Secondly, the advantage of binding agent is to give strength and ability to maintain the structure of food. The example is for bread and meatloaf. The third advantages of binders is to improve and maintain the nutritional value of food. Although we add the food additives in the food, the nutrients in foods are still preserved. So there's no worry in take the food that contains with binding agent. For example, I will give you the example of advantages of xanthan gum. First, It is function as saliva substitute and treating dry mouth. Xanthan gum may be useful and safe saliva substitute for people who experience chronic dry mouth. Some varieties of toothpaste for dry mouth contain xanthan gum to help lock in moisture. Second is function is to make it easier to swallow. Some diseases can make swallowing difficult, especially when the mouth and throat are dry. A 2014 study found that xanthan gum could help people with dysphagia, a swallowing disorder, safely swallow their food. Xanthan gum does this by thickening food and saliva, making it easier for both to move down the throat. This could reduce the risk of choking and make eating safer.
So I will explain about the health issue and the disadvantage of the binders. First and foremost, you guys need to know what is the xanthan gum. Xanthan gum is the artificial binders. So the word artificial make the perception of the negative talk from the consumer. But basically, the xanthan gum is the binders that is healthy and not dangerous for the consumer. It is proved by some research that xanthan gum can give health benefit to consumer. First of all, the research found out that the xanthan gum can treat the cancer. This is proved by the experiment to the mouse that have the skin cancer. By treating the mouse with the xanthan gum, it is proof that the xanthan gum can make the mouse doesn't have the cancer. Besides that, xanthan gum is also proof that it can reducing cholesterol, but this only happen if you take the exact amount of the xanthan gum, which means you can take the xanthan gum on the optimum level so that the cholesterol can be reduced. Other than that, xanthan gum is also proof that it can lowering and stabilizing blood sugar. This also made by some research that by the coating the rice with the xanthan gum and compare it with the rice which is not coated with xanthan gum. So that's all for the health issue. So I will go to the disadvantage of the binders. That is proof that the binders doesn't have many of disadvantage, but in some opinions that higher intake of binders can affect the digestive system. This is because xanthan gum is the artificial binders. Maybe we cannot see the effect on the short period, but maybe we can see it on the long period effect because this thing is in play in our stomach. Thank you, Mr. Ikmal and Mr. Zakaria, for the explanation of the disadvantage, advantage, and health issue of binders. So, guys, after we know the advantage and disadvantage of the binders, of course, you guys must apply it in the real life and also explain to others so that others know what the real use of binders so they do not misunderstood on the binders.